It's time for the Green Wave Coaches Show, broadcasting each week from Prince Street Pizza and Pub in Gallatin, Tennessee. The Green Wave Coaches Show is brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Gallatin's local hometown hardware store, serving Gallatin and Sumner County for the past 50 years. Stop by and let Jimmy and his staff take care of all your hardware needs. Bank Tennessee, the bank for the Green Wave. Delta Dental of Tennessee. Visit deltadentaltn.com. Double Dogs, Sumner County's favorite sports bar, and the Ingram Law Firm, a local law firm that you can count on. Let our legal family help you and your family in your time of need. Now, let's get to the show and join our host, Blaine Kellar.
Back for Green Wave Coaches Show Season 3. New location, same old cast on Main Street Media Television. We're here at Prince Street Pizza and Pub in Gallatin. We're brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Bank Tennessee, Delta Dental, Double Dogs, and J. Ingram and Associates. North Central Regional Sports Editor Blaine Kellar, joined once again by Gallatin head football coach Michael Stroup. Coach Stroup, glad to have you back for Season 3. And a good start to Season 3, winning 44-28 against rival Hendersonville.
Yeah, I'm glad y'all invited me back.
Well, we talked after that game, that win against the Commandos, and you had said one thing that stuck out to me was that you said that this win meant something to you. Not only in the sense that you work 12 months out of the year to try to win the first game of the year, but that it's against a rival as well. So can you kind of elaborate on that thought a little bit to start us off here?
Well, I mean, you get the sense from the community and the fan base that, you know, I mean, it's a big game, and that rivalry, it means something to this community and their community. And, you know, the past 5 years they've had they've been close but hadn't got it done. And, you know, the past 2 years I've been involved in it. It's kind of felt like the first year it was a shootout for 3 quarters, and then you know, last year it was it came down to a final drive, and we weren't able to seal the deal. You know, we've worked hard in the off season and try to get the pieces in the right place and working on communication and stuff like that. Got a new scheme on the defensive side of the ball. Coach Paul Pitts is now calling plays offensively for us. So, you know, it's a little bit different look all the way around. But, you know, I'm still involved on I'm more involved on both sides of the ball now, and that's what I need to be doing.
When you talk about the historical aspect of this rivalry, first win for Gallatin since 2019 in this series. But again, like you mentioned, one Gallatin is handled historically. Yeah. So what was the response maybe after the win immediately, then through the weekend and going through this week so far, hearing from the community and in picking up a win like that?
I mean, no one really came up to me and patted me on the back, but, you know, I'm sure the kids in the hallways and teachers and people like that in the community, when they see the kids, I'm sure they're proud of them and say things. But immediately after the game, I met with them at midfield, and, you know, I congratulated them. And, you know, we played for 3 quarters. I talked about the last quarter not really being the standard we want. But, you know, we have this phrase, don't matter, get better. And we use it in tough times and in good times. So, you know, I told them to enjoy it for 24 hours. And, you know, somewhere around noon on Saturday, you know, it's behind us. And it doesn't matter what we did last week. No one cares. It's what we do going forward, and, you know, we just want to be 1-0 on Monday, and you know, then 1-0 on Tuesday. So it's about execution and effort, and, you know, that's what we focus on.
Is that what motivated your guys, specifically your offense? Scored first 3 drives and 4 out of 5 to not only start that game but start the season.
You know, I don't know what motivated them, you know, per se, but, you know, we talk about how we want to start, and we've talked about, you know, I think we've had a pretty challenging preseason. I mean, we start out and, you know, we scrimmage Innsworth, who is, you know, a state-ranked program. And I thought we battled them fairly well. We scrimmaged Portland, who's I would say probably a favorite in where they're at, and they're big and physical. They're a big bunch, big offensive line, and strong kids. And my whole thing was, can we stop the run? And I thought we did a fairly decent job when we scrimmaged them. And then we go to Springfield, and again, another team that's highly ranked in where they're at. And I thought we executed well. We had one turnover offensively, but I thought for the most part our kids competed, and we were able to go to over to Liberty Creek and see them for the first time, and I thought we did well over there too. So I mean, it's just talking about stacking good days on top of good days, and keep repeatedly doing that. And I just challenged our kids to start fast. I think last year when we would come out, it would be, it would kind of be a struggle to get going offensively. But Friday night we were able to come out, and I think in 2 plays we scored. So,
yeah.
I mean, you can't ask for much more than that.
2 plays went 80 yards. Let's cover both of those plays to start. The first one going to, I don't want to say an unlikely target, but somebody who did not catch a pass last year, and Amari Holman. Played 3 total games on the year, going back to the 2024 stats. What can you tell us about Amari and his ability to kind of step up when he's called upon for the very first play?
Yeah, Amari Holloman is a super kid, and he worked extremely hard through my time here at Gallatin, and comes from a great family. But he's a kid that's going to see a lot of action on the field this year. He saw a little bit of time on the defensive side of the ball last year, but he will be a big part defensively for us this year, and he will play a big role offensively for us. He's a fast, twitchy guy, probably the fastest guy on the team. And he's got great hands, and he's going to contribute offensively to us. And we came out first play. We thought we would get a certain look if we went empty, and we got what we thought we would see. And it was pretty much scripted. We saw it, and we were able to connect with it. And then second play. After a bonehead penalty, we came back, and we found Malachi Harper. Again, we thought we would see a certain look, and we did. And he just, he outran the linebacker.
Yeah, that pass going for 36 yards to Malachi.
41.
That's right, -5. Yeah, that's right, that's on me.
You got to look. See, the scoreboard still had 36 on it, right?
Yeah.
You got to look at the painted dashes on the field.
There we go. Already a correction on the Green Wave Coaches Show, Season 1, Episode 3. But Malachi reverted back to running back this season. He played running back. You guys moved him to a defensive position solely a year ago.
Yeah.
What was the process of bringing him back to the tailback position?
Malachi has grown as a person in such a large way. Sometimes kids, they they mature a little bit slower, and he was one of those kids, and it was I'm so proud of that kid, and through the off season, he lost his brother, and me and him have had several conversations about that. I lost my brother, and sometimes he'll come up to me and ask me questions about, hey, coach, with dealing with the loss. But me and him have grown in a lot of ways. But he has come in and had a great attitude when sometimes last year he probably didn't have a really good attitude. But he was voted by his team as one of the captains this year, and that's how far he's come. But has done a tremendous job of doing. Of running the football, understanding the blocking schemes, understanding the pass protection, and he has become a real leader for us in the running back room.
Talk defensively now from that first game. lots of good for the first 3 quarters, I think is what you kind of said on Friday night, was that outside of a couple of plays, a series of trick plays and a long touchdown pass that Hendersonville had to end the first half. They had that fake punt, the 50-yard pass, and then the QB sneak in. You held Hendersonville to about 50 yards of offense to that point.
Yeah.
You had 3 turnovers as a team. Third down defense showed some flashes at points. All of that said, where did Brent Russell's first defensive showing shine the most for you whenever we're talking about this game between Gallatin and Hendersonville?
Well, I think Brent did a great job altogether, and his staff. They put a great game plan together, and they do a really good job in practice of keeping the energy up, staying positive with the kids. I think for the most part, I think all except for one series of defense. I mean, we put the 2s in there early, and I think it might have been the fourth quarter when we got a running clock, and we had an interception. They got the ball back maybe on somewhere around the 25 or 15. I can't remember, but that's not a really good spot for any defense. I really don't blame them for that.
Right.
But I think it might have been, we had a situation once where, we had a ghost penalty called on Preston Mooney after an extra point. They called a blindside block. In reality, the kid turned around and hit Preston, but Preston was like an immovable object. And when he hit him, he went backwards, and they just thought, well, that's got to be illegal. So they threw a flag on that and called it a blindside block. And so we had to kick off from the 30. Well, instead of pooching it or squibbing it, we're going to let Austin try to put all his leg into it, and he kicked it to the 1 yard line. But the problem is they returned it 99.
Yeah.
So you outkick your coverage, right? And that I've got to do a better job of coaching there, because at that time I was encouraging Preston not to make boneheaded mistakes. But then you go back on film, you look at it like, man, I feel bad because that's not really his fault.
Yeah.
So we put the defense in a bad spot there. That even though they scored 28, that did not go on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
So you go back to 3 scores for the defense. They had one drive, and I can't remember when it happened. I do. It was a running clock, and our band started playing the Na-Na song, and their student section, dressed like convicts, started leaving the field early, because I guess they didn't believe in what was going on out there. So I remember that, and so our kids see that, and they're like, "Man, this game's over with." But that's where we've got to learn. We've got to still compete. Mm-hmm. So there's still teaching to be done, right? So we've got to reinforce, hey, we've got to finish the job, and just because it's a 44-13 game doesn't mean, hey, it's time to celebrate, because with a minute 45, I'm thinking we're finna lose this thing.
Yeah, turn from 44-13 to 44-28.
100%.
And a chance for Hendersonville to score again then.
Yeah.
So like any high school football team in week 1, there's things to clean up. One other thought, and then we'll get to previewing Franklin here on the Green Wave Coaches Show, week 2 opponent. Double-digit penalties, had a lot in the first half. Is there anything that you do as a coach to course correct that through the week?
Again, you go back, you watch film, and man, it's a lot of them are hustle penalties. There was only one that I thought was just boneheaded, and Mooney came in and hit a kid late on the ground, and I didn't. That was stupid. But the rest of them, man, it's really inexperienced on the officials. We had situations where. For instance, I'll give you good and bad. So the touchdown, or to set up the touchdown before halftime for Hendersonville, the quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage. Guy threw the flag. White Hat's 10 yards behind, overruled it because he apparently had a better angle at it, being 10 yards behind.
Looked a little suspect,
right,
from my angle. Exactly.
And that's what I kind of relayed to him, but he told me if he missed it, he was sorry, so that made me feel better. So you have that. All right, you have an instance where we had a sudden change, They fumble it. We get the ball back. I think Jason Morton got the ball, and so we go out there and we have what I call a wasted series. We come out and we throw a quick screen into the boundary, and Eli Hansen gets a personal foul call. He's blocking through the whistle. All right. Now I can deal with those a little bit because he's hustling. He ain't fighting. He's just trying to block. He's focused. I get all that. But all of a sudden it goes to first down and they move the chains back or the ball back. Now it's third down. We missed second down altogether. And I'm trying to explain to them, hey, y'all missed a down. So we punted on third down. We actually had our second down was third down. So they missed the whole thing. Yeah. And that's a mess up. Preston Mooney, again, comes up and he suplexes the quarterback from Hendersonville. Yeah. Well, that's a penalty, and they didn't call it.
Didn't call it.
You know, and if I'm Coach Beasley over there, I'm pretty hot about it myself. But they didn't call the penalty on that, and so that's a penalty. But they didn't call that. And I know they got a tough job, and I'm not blaming them for anything. It's just that sometimes when you look at things and you. Like I'm going to control our kids, and we're going to correct like we did. We yesterday after practice, everybody that got a flag had extra work to do after practice. Yeah. So that's how we handle that. We handle that way. So you just try to reinforce it and make sure kids are doing the right things. And one of the kids came in. I think it might have been Preston Mooney. He said, well. If that's what I got to do every time, I'm done getting those things. So, we've got to tighten it up. I think we had 12 penalties for 120 yards or something like that. So, again, maybe half of them were justified. You can call holding on anything.
That's what they say.
Now I think one penalty they called blocking the back on a lineman on a pass play. Matter of fact, we hit Justin Cagle in the end zone with a touchdown, and they called might have been hands to the face. Anyway, go back on film, and it's not hands to the face at all. So, but it's kind of like the kid goes home and tells the parent, "Well, I didn't do that in class, but the teacher said you did." So I got to back the referees, and I will.
Well, it was week one for everybody, and the Wave. Still winners, 44-28 against Hendersonville. Up next, a road match against Josh Adkins and the Franklin Admirals. We'll preview that on the other side of this break. You're watching the Green Wave Coaches Show on Main Street Media Television.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
When you're looking for the right attorney, it's important to ask questions that address your needs and concerns. Is your attorney local? A local attorney is often more attuned to the specific issues and challenges you may face. Jay Ingram understands the Gallatin, Sumner County, and Middle Tennessee communities well. He's been practicing law here for 25 years. What are their primary areas of practice? The Ingram Law Firm focuses their practice primarily on the areas of criminal defense, domestic relations, civil litigation, juvenile law, and probate. Do they genuinely care about the community? Jay Ingram, his associate attorneys, and legal staff are not only skilled, but they're also deeply invested in their community. Managing partner Jay Ingram is a graduate of Leadership Sumner and has held leadership roles with the Sumner County Bar Association, Gallatin Green Wave Quarterback Club, the Gallatin Lions Club, and he's a graduate of both Leadership Middle Tennessee and the Tennessee Bar Association's Leadership Law statewide program. Why does all of this matter? Finding an attorney who understands, cares about, and is connected to the local community can make a significant difference in your experience and your outcome. Jay Ingram, Haley Medley, and Austin Knapp are dedicated local citizens and attorneys who are here to help you navigate your legal challenges with compassion. Reach out to the Ingram Law Firm PLLC today at 615-452-6613 or visit ingramlawyers.com.
You're not going fishing till that grass is cut.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Score big with your hometown team. Bank Tennessee is proud to be the bank of the Green Wave. We believe in supporting our community and we're dedicated to helping our neighbors succeed. When you bank with us, your deposits help fund local businesses, homeowners, and community projects. Go Green Wave! Bank Tennessee, www.banktennessee.com, in Gallatin at 544 Hartsville Pike, 615-442-7914, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Here at Prince Street Pizza and Pub in Gallatin for this week and the duration of the Green Wave Coaches Show. We're going to be here every Tuesday, a little before 7, a little after 7:30. Be sure to check us out. We're brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Bank Tennessee, Double Dogs, Delta Dental, and J. Ingram and Associates. Blaine Kellar here with Michael Stroup. We've talked about Gallatin and Hendersonville. Let's talk about Gallatin and Franklin, your Week 2 matchup, now starting at 7:30. Coach, I know in the past you and Josh, a former Gallatin assistant, have texted about what your first play is going to be. I'm assuming there's none of that this week.
He hadn't texted me yet. He might. He might tell me what his first play is.
If he did, would you tell him what your first play is?
100%.
We'll trade?
Yeah.
What is that going to kind of be like, having to coach against Josh after coaching with him for the season that he was here and then before that under Chad Watson's staff?
I mean, I guess it'd be like any Friday night. I mean, you know, not my first time I've coached against a guy that I've worked with. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you know, Josh is a great guy and does a great job. You know, he's trying to build a program down in Franklin, and you know, at times we've broken bread about, you know, he's kind of picked my brain and asked questions about, you know, what to do, what not to do, and things like that. But you know, he's done a good job down there and creating a lot of buzz. So, you know, hats off to Josh.
Can you reflect on the times that you have coached against former assistants? What do you take away from those games, and how much does it feel like going up against a version of your own team?
You know, I mean, it's kind of weird. You know, me and Josh only spent, you know, a season together, but you know, I've had those experiences. Some of them are mean a lot. Some of them are just, you know, it's a, you know, we work together type deal. But you know, probably the biggest game I had was, you know, was I spent, I don't know, 3 or 4 years with Brandon Gray at Adamsville, and then I ended up being the head coach at Scotts Hill, and we had each other on the schedule in the same region for a few years, and he would thump me pretty good. And then my last year, we ended up when I was at Scotts Hill, we ended up playing each other, and he was first round playoff matchup, and they were undefeated, and we were 9 I don't know. We were 7-3. Yeah. And they were heavily favored to win, and we went up there and upset them, and you know, that was it gets competitive, and you know, and Brandon and I are competitive people, and you know, that wasn't the that was tough for Brandon.
Yeah.
It was good for me. I always told him, I said, you got me the USJ job. So he really appreciates that. But there's so much respect and admiration for those guys that you worked with or for, and then you're across the field from them. It's kind of like family.
Franklin made it to the playoffs in Atkins' first season with the Admirals, made it to the second round, had a solid first year. Coach, you talked about it earlier, your confidence to stop the run, how you've prepped that through the preseason. After doing that against Hendersonville in a regular season game, what's your confidence level that your defense will be able to do that against Franklin, a team that rushed 28 times against Laverne last week?
Yeah, we're just going to try our best to, keep them under 24 points and put our best foot forward. They got a good team, got a great athletes out there, got a Tennessee commit. So we're just they got a lot of buzz up there, and I think they're ranked in some polls. So we just got to be able to answer the call, and it's going to be a hostile environment. I'm sure the house is going to be packed at Franklin, and I'm sure Josh is getting his kids ready and fired up to face the Green Wave.
Have you had any assessment of Luke Thompson, the Tennessee commitment that you mentioned, plays on the outside? He caught more than a bulk of the Admirals' passing yardage in their first game. Do you have any sort of idea of what he's going to bring to the table and how you're going to defend that?
Speed.
Yeah.
Speed. I think he's been probably clocked at a 10.5 100-meter dash.
Wow.
So he can stride out pretty good. Again, at the end of the day, you gotta play football, and there's Jimmys and Joes and there's X's and O's, and at the end of the day, he's gonna make plays, and that's what athletes do, and that's what UT commits do. They make plays. We just gotta limit those plays as much as we can.
We talked about some general things that Gallatin maybe needs to get better at from that first week. Where specifically do you want to see strides in your team for this week 2 game against Franklin? We've got to stay locked in all 4 quarters, and maybe execute a little bit better in the end of the game, and stay locked in. I thought, you go back and you look offensively, and it's kind of hard to find, things that it's just maybe stupid penalties, right? You false starts, things like that. Making the right read and knowing where to go with the football. We had an interception there somewhere in the third quarter, and we shouldn't have made that throw, and we should have went somewhere else with it. But we've talked about that. That was probably corrected within 15 seconds, to be honest with you. But defensively, we just got to stay locked in, and we want to be stingy, but they're gonna produce challenges for us this week. They're gonna do a lot of pre-snap motions and shifts, and they'll come out lined up in 8,000 formations, and he'll have linemen lined up over there below the numbers, and they'll be probably doing handstands and whatnot just to kind of cause confusion. But we've got to be able to be locked in and not be distracted by smoke and mirrors. We're going to take one more break here. Be sure to catch our coverage on the Gallatin News for the Green Wave versus Franklin in Week 2. When we come back, it's our favorite segment, our One Fun Question with Coach Stroup. Stay tuned.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
When you're looking for the right attorney, it's important to ask questions that address your needs and concerns. Is your attorney local? A local attorney is often more attuned to the specific issues and challenges you may face. Jay Ingram understands the Gallatin, Sumner County, and Middle Tennessee communities well. He's been practicing law here for 25 years. What are their primary areas of practice? The Ingram Law Firm focuses their practice primarily on the areas of criminal defense, domestic relations, civil litigation, juvenile law, and probate. Do they genuinely care about the community? Jay Ingram, his associate attorneys, and legal staff are not only skilled, but they're also deeply invested in their community. Managing partner Jay Ingram is a graduate of Leadership Sumner and has held leadership roles with the Sumner County Bar Association, Gallatin Green Wave Quarterback Club, the Gallatin Lions Club, and he's a graduate of both Leadership Middle Tennessee and the Tennessee Bar Association's Leadership Law statewide program. Why does all of this matter? Finding an attorney who understands, cares about, and is connected to the local community can make a significant difference in your experience and your outcome. Jay Ingram, Haley Medley, and Austin Knapp are dedicated local citizens and attorneys who are here to help you navigate your legal challenges with compassion. Reach out to the Ingram Law Firm PLLC today at 615-452-6613 or visit ingramlawyers.com.
You're not going fishing till that grass is cut.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Score big with your hometown team. Bank Tennessee is proud to be the bank of the Green Wave. We believe in supporting our community and we're dedicated to helping our neighbors succeed. When you bank with us, your deposits help fund local businesses, homeowners, and community projects. Go Green Wave! Bank Tennessee, www.banktennessee.com in Gallatin at 544 Hartsville Pike, 615-442-7914, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Closing out with one fun question here on the Green Wave Coaches Show. Blaine Kellar with Michael Stroup here. And since we're at Prince Street Pizza and Pub starting this week through the end of the season, Coach, I thought it'd be apt to ask you your go-to pizza order. Do you have one that you're just locked in for every single time?
Yeah, the animal.
Meat lovers?
Yeah.
Another name for that?
Yeah.
You're big, sausage, pepperoni, bacon.
Anything that once had a heartbeat.
See, I'm the opposite way. I'm a fan of the vegetarian pizza.
And that's why.
Believe it or not, I've got a pretty good metabolism. I can eat a whole pizza, But if I don't go vegetarian, I go supreme. So there's some meat on that.
Okay.
There's some sausage.
There's
some pepperoni. Let me list some pizza toppings here, and you tell me if it's a green light, yellow light, red light. If somebody's asking for this topping on the pizza.
What's a yellow light?
Like you could tolerate it.
Okay. All right.
So I think we could go ahead and knock out all the meats.
Yeah.
Saying that's all green lights, you're good for that.
Done.
Let's say banana peppers.
Green light.
Green light on banana peppers. How about bell peppers?
Green light.
Green light. This is what I wanted to bring up. Hopefully we can get a Gallatin-themed pizza by the end of the season. A little banana pepper, a little green pepper. Get the green wave going.
Yeah.
Here at Prince Street. Mushrooms.
Green light.
Now here's the big one. Pineapple.
Green light.
Green light. I'm with you. Jackson Stroup in the back there giving the thumbs down. By the way, he's our Gallatin News Player of the Week. Had to tie that in somehow.
There you go.
Pineapple and Canadian bacon, my go-to.
That's a good one.
That's my top 3 pizza order.
That's it.
But if you want to get Coach Stroup, you want to get on his good side, give him a meat lovers and animal pizza. That wraps up our first week. A large, you said?
Large.
Large. Meat lovers pizza. That wraps up our first week of the Green Wave Coaches Show. Thank you to our sponsors, Tennessee Ace Hardware, Bank Tennessee, Delta Dental, Double Dogs, and J. Ingram & Associates. We'll see you back here next week as we wrap up Franklin and get ready for week 3 with the Wave.